Okay, I'm gonna go over both trades I took today. Today wasn't the highest probability day, mainly because we were um, very disconnected from Nasdaq was very disconnected from ES. The relative strength ES showed was pretty nuts. Like we were pushing way past all-time highs, while Nasdaq was kind of just continuing to drop throughout the morning. So it made it hard to enter into any longs on Nasdaq because what would happen is you'd have these SMTs at the highs for ES that continue to form, and like once ES would take a high, then Nasdaq had no reason to continue higher, and it just kept going lower and lower. Uh, it just made it for just not the greatest trading day. Um, I followed my model on both these entries, broke even on both these entries, so we end the week positive, which is nice on a trading week. That was not the easiest. Another week of price action that's just kind of piss poor, to be completely honest with you. I'm gonna go over the week and see if I missed anything, and but yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at right now. And let me go over the trades. So start on the daily here, obviously reacting nicely off of this daily fair value gap if you're bullish, which of course we are currently at all-time highs. Now, we did break below this 4 hour, so my longs here became, well, actually the first long was before 10 a.m. So this 4 hour had not been disrespected yet. So I would argue that the first trade I got in was, you know, you could argue was A plus. The second trade was not A plus because we had disrespected this 4 hour candle and inversed it. So it made the bullish bias a little bit more shaky. But yeah, at the time of the first entry, we were trading inside of this 4 hour and respecting it. So that first entry made a lot of sense. Again, respecting these 1 hour fair value gaps as well for the first entry. And so my target for the first entry was London high / all-time high, which I don't love my targets to be all-time highs. I just don't. Like I would prefer internal liquidity within the leg if there was like a 15-minute or something that made sense for a one-to-one, but nothing did. So this had to be my take profit when I entered this trade. But yeah, we were respecting a 4 hour. Overall bias is bullish. And if you go to the 2 minute, we had done a decent job of sweeping some internal lows here, some low resistance liquidity. I wish we would have taken London low. That might have given us, that would have given me even more confluence to enter. But yeah, 2 minute break even here at the internal high. So hit the internal high, put my stop to break even, and obviously flushed lower after that. So good trade management, good risk management, breaking even there. That was the first trade. Second trade, at this point, we had disrespected the 4 hour fair value gap and inversed it. So to be long was a little bit more, subjective, I guess, and a little bit more risky. So I did risk off on this trade. But at the time, we had swept Asian low. So that was my confluence as far as the sweep's concerned. And I wanted this, I did like the target on this more because it was within the leg. It wasn't like reaching for some all-time high. It wasn't reaching for this high. It was within this leg here. I just wanted this internal liquidity, this 15-minute fair value gap to get tapped back into. So we got the sweep, and technically we didn't have a higher time frame fair value gap on this trade. However, with the sweep of Asian low and the bounce that we had, like we had a pretty nice like reaction. If you go to like, it's fairly V-shaped. But anyways, if you go to the 1 minute here, this is my entry. Now this was more likely, I would have been surprised honestly if this hit take profit, which maybe, you might ask, okay, then why take it? right? Like, why would you ever take a trade where you would be surprised if it went in your direction? I was very confident that we were going to be able to break even. So I was okay with taking on some risk, lower size, but taking on some risk just because I knew this would most likely be a risk-free trade. We would, at the very least, hit my break-even point. The reason why I didn't think it was going to go to my take profit, or didn't have the highest probability of doing so, was because we had to go through this 5 minute here in order to get to my TP, which was, of course, the 15 minute and the second 5 minute of the leg. And it would have really had to push hard and not given any respect to this 5 minute for us to not break even, because the 5 minute was relatively close to my entry. Here, let me mark up the 5 minute so you see, right, like this, relatively close to my entry here. So once we shot through it, I actually did have some confidence here. I was like, oh, you know what, we might actually get a winner today. You know, this was a pretty bullish candle. I know it's only the 1 minute, but we definitely like shot through this level pretty nicely here. But yeah, again, just broke even once that happened because we tapped into the 5 minute. The 5 minute could get respected, and it did. And yeah, you know, technically this, if I did not follow my rules, we would have been able to stay in and won the trade, but I'm not going to not follow my rules. So yeah, this was another break even, and that was today. And yeah, I'm going to recap the week and back test it to see if I missed anything to end the week here. I'm fairly confident I didn't miss anything too glaring. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll see. I mean, last week I definitely didn't. There was a Monday trade. The best trade of last week was a no news Monday trade that I decided not to take because I just didn't really like the way it was presenting itself. I didn't really think it was A plus. And that was really the only trade that played out that entire week. So yeah, that's that. Let me just quickly show the executions. I know they're break even, so I don't know why I would lie about a break even trade, but I'll share the executions regardless, so you know that I entered on both of them. All right, this is an Express account. I'm not copying them anymore because I'm trying to risk a bit more in the combines, and I don't want to risk more on the Express because I just don't have the drawdown on the Express to risk a full percent, which I'm trying to risk on the combines. So I just can't copy trade. Let's see how this week, I haven't actually looked at the monthly chart yet. Oh, okay, I was going to say, I don't know how this makes sense, but it makes sense because this was on the 30th of last month. So technically we're down $12 in the month. This week we're up $250, so we're up, we won our trade on Tuesday. And that was it. I mean, again, going to go over the trades to see, or the week to see if I missed anything, but I'm pretty happy with how I performed this week considering I thought it was a pretty tough week. So coming out in the green, I'm happy. Didn't have a loser this whole week. It was just one win and 3 break evens. But yeah,